Forecast that coming up in a minute. Dan?
All right, more on the way. Utah farmers are grateful for all the snow this winter and the water that will come from it. But looking ahead, it's also causing some challenges. Farming is a delicate balance. They need the moisture, but too much creates other problems. And with all the snow we've seen, some Utah crops will be delayed because farmers are having a tough time getting to the ground to plant.
Yeah, we had already planted some barley last year. We had tractors hooked onto implements the end of February, so we were ready to go. It won't be this year.
Fruit blossoms, spring wheat, and onions are among those delayed. Usually farmers use ash to melt snow and reach the ground, but with constant storms, that won't work. Still, many farmers telling us they would rather not have a completely dry winter. Well, weather is also being
Coming up in your full forecast.
just keeps coming. Thanks, Kristen. Utah farmers are grateful for all the snow this winter and the water that will come from it. But looking ahead, it's also causing some challenges. Well, farming is a delicate balance. They need the moisture, but too much creates other problems. And with all the snow we've seen, some Utah crops will be delayed because farmers are having a tough time getting to the ground to plant.
Yeah, we had already planted some barley last year. We had tractors hooked onto implements the end of February, so we were ready to go. It won't be this year.
Fruit blossoms, spring wheat, and onions are among those delayed. Usually farmers use ash to melt snow and reach the ground, but with constant storms, that won't work. Still, many farmers telling us they would rather not have a completely dry winter. At least 25 people are dead.
This is breaking news from KSL.
Good evening. Breaking tonight, terrifying moments as gunfire rings out at a popular swap meet. Well, police are now searching for a gunman who opened fire inside the swap meet in West Valley City. They're investigating the shooting as an aggravated robbery. News specialist Shelby Lofton now joins us live from the scene near 3100 South and 1500 West. Shelby, what's the latest?
Dan, police say this man is armed and they think he slipped out of these doors when several other shoppers came running out after hearing those gunshots. Officers say there was one victim in all of this and he is physically okay, but really mentally shaken after what happened here earlier tonight. The West Valley City indoor swap meet sees a lot of shoppers on Saturdays.
Well, she was attending some customers.
Myra Limon was at her mother's quinceañera clothing shop getting ready for clothes when
We heard about 4 gunshots, and my first instinct was to run outside.
police say one man fired shots at the jewelry store located at the front of the building.
There's a business called El Diamante. That's where the robbery had occurred. The suspect had brought a hammer with and a handgun, and he shattered some of the cases that had jewelry.
Police say he stole a laptop and pieces of jewelry.
Everyone was panicking and they were running into whatever they saw was safe.
Limon's cousin Hector was at the indoor swap meet visiting his uncle who works at the jewelry store.
And as he was coming in, he saw the robbers run out the door. They were just telling him to move out of the way.
Police have limited information on the suspect because his head, face, and hands were covered.
He was wearing a mask and he had gloves on.
They said one person, a worker inside, was grazed by a bullet.
It was just along his right hip, and it almost looks like a welt, so no penetration on the skin, and so he's lucky.
As police investigate, business owners are preparing to reopen Sunday.
Looks like they're going to need some replaced items, but I would imagine they'll be back up and running shortly.
But they're rattled.
It's a scary experience. Honest. You don't expect it where you work at.
And police tell me there are about 2 to 3 dozen businesses inside this building, and on a crowded Saturday like today, things could have been a whole lot worse. Again, police are still looking for this man who fired these shots and stole these items, but they do believe that this was an isolated incident. Dan, I'll send it back to you.
Boy, scary experience there. Glad everybody's okay. Thanks a lot. Shelby Lofton live for us tonight. Well, happening right now, troopers and unified police.
Your full forecast, Dan.
Yeah, keeps on coming. Thanks a lot, Kristen. Well, the Humane Society of Utah is offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction in the killing of 2 wild horse stallions shot on the Onaki Mountain Herd Management Area.
Utahns are animal lovers, right? We are an agricultural state. We love all animals, not just companion animals. We need to have strong protections for our animals. So anytime it happens, it is a problem. It is not who we are as Utahns. And so this is why we're contributing towards this effort to make sure it doesn't happen again.
The Humane Society's reward is in addition to the $22,500 reward put up by the Bureau of Land Management and other agencies. Anyone with information is asked to call the BLM Utah Law Enforcement tip line at 800-722-3998. Tonight, people of all faiths gathered to